You see up there on the screen the word Kuiper Belt, and I am not sure if many of you are familiar with that term. If you look at this picture in the image, and hopefully you can see it clearly enough, you will see that the Kuiper Belt is basically a region which surrounds our solar system, and that is the reason why the planet Pluto several years ago was reclassified to either a Kuiper Belt object or a planetoid. Now, if you look at this map, you will also see that Neptune is at the edge of the Kuiper Belt. So why wasn't Neptune reclassified as such an object? You may recall, those of you who read my website for several years, that back in 2007, 8, etc., 9, NASA was reporting objects appearing in this Kuiper Belt region that looked strange to them. And almost every week there would be 2 or 3 different objects that would be appearing. When it became very suspicious and people were questioning the news and asking why and what are these objects, that is when they reclassified Pluto as a cover to say, well, these objects were always there, we just didn't know they were there. But I will tell you that the Kuiper Belt right now is amassing a very large fleet of objects that are not necessarily from our space-time. And when I say that, you may recall also NASA reporting for the last couple of years large objects emerging from our sun and then moving out towards what is the Kuiper Belt. And so we know from close-up observation and digital analysis that these objects that came from the sun were artificial. In some cases, you can even see windows, you can even see equipment on these vehicles. And they're huge. Some of them are almost the size of our planet. If you learn about interdimensional science and about galactic work, you will know that a black hole in one universe is a star in another universe, and vice versa. This is how energy is exchanged between universes, and energy is balanced throughout creation. And you can learn more about this in my simultaneous existence work. So these objects that are coming in or passing out through the sun, these are actually going through a vortex, if you will, a black hole in one universe coming in through our sun here. Now, there's something else you should know about the sun, because people think, well, is the sun so hot, wouldn't that burn up the objects? And the answer to that is the sun is actually not hot, and I know that sounds loony-toony to you, but it's cold fusion. Think about something. I'm sure many of you have gone in an airplane, yes? And it could be very hot on the surface of the ground, and then you take off. And if you look at the monitor, you can see, especially on international flights, they do this. As soon as you go into the atmosphere, it's way below zero, 50, 60, 70 below zero. Now think about it. You're going up, literally, closer to the sun. Why does it get colder? Shouldn't it get hot? And if the sun is hot, shouldn't space, interstellar space and the solar system space, shouldn't be warm out in space? But yet it's hundreds of degrees below zero. Why? Because it is not hot. The sun is not hot. It's just light. And what creates the heat on the Earth is our atmosphere and the light refracting through the atmosphere and then reflecting off the surface of the planet, which is why it's only warm at the surface. And as higher you go, it gets colder. So keep that in mind. And what you learned about Mars, about Venus, all these planets is not true. Mars has an atmosphere. It did have oceans. There are plant life growing there, animal life growing there. And little by little, you will be informed of this, although maybe not in the proper manner. The objective, from my perspective, of this collective in the Kuiper Belt is to remove the Illuminati. And the reason they want to remove the Illuminati is not because of love, light, and peace and to help mankind. And I'm going to try to explain to you, I know some of you may not want to listen or believe, but there are no alien races here that are trying to help you. Each of them has an agenda. The benevolent races don't interfere. They simply observe and see what happens. But you should know that in this galaxy and beyond, the Earth is the Iraq or Syria of the galaxy. And so there are those who wish to liberate us. Since we did such a fine job in Iraq, and they're so free and happy now, that maybe that these Kuiper Belt beings want to do the same for us. But let me tell you, it's because they're concerned about what we are doing here on this planet. As you know, there are certain alien groups who have given technology to particular governments who have an agenda of globalization and to create a new galactic empire with the Earth as its capital. And contrary to what you may have been taught in the so-called New Age, which, by the way, the New Age was created by the US government in 1965, New Age says that the Illuminati want to kill most of the Earth's population, reduced to 500 million. You've heard this one, yes? It's not true. Listen, the Illuminati did not spend, I don't know how many gazillions of dollars and how many centuries or thousands of years and all this time and effort to create 7.5 billion slaves to then destroy them. That would make no sense. So what the intention is, as this galactic empire is developed, to relocate huge amounts of the population from this planet to new colonies elsewhere to expand the empire. That's the point, see? And that's why they have, you must have heard of the Mars One project, where they're asking for volunteers to go one way to Mars, you know. That's to get you used to the idea of leaving the Earth and starting life over again elsewhere. But this will never happen because Mars is already colonized, and if they ever got there, they would be a big surprise for them. So beyond the Kuiper Belt is the Oort cloud. And this is another region of space that you can see from this, diagram here that extends even further out from our solar system. What we have learned, or I should say what the government has learned from certain alien groups, and I will get to that in a bit, is that our solar system is not configured the way we have been taught. That there are actually 13 planets in our extended solar system that goes into the Kuiper Belt and the Oort cloud. And we have learned that sometimes planets, or what they call rogue planets, which are not associated with a star, can actually have its own ecosystem, atmosphere, and light source without the need of a star or to be close to a star. And this also exists out there in the Oort cloud. The wormholes and vortices, and there's a difference. People misuse the term. There's a difference between a wormhole and a vortex. A wormhole is a shortcut between point A and B in the same physical environment or space. A vortex is a shortcut between point A and B between two different dimensions or parallel universes. These are just different type of humanoid type. And when I say humanoid, that means they look kind of human, but maybe not exactly. Now, I will tell you that there are alien beings on this planet that look just like you. You could be sitting next to one, and you don't know they're not from here. That's how close they are. Again, I'm not going to mention my ex-wife, but I had some, intuition about that. And they have an agenda as well. Remember, if you know about galactic history, you know that all human races originated in the star system Lyra before it was attacked by the Draco Empire. So no matter where these humanoids come from, eons ago, they had common ancestry in Lyra. So we have to keep that in mind. So that's why they consider this planet to be under their jurisdiction, if you will. Long time ago, maybe 25, 30 years ago, and US government and Soviet government had extensive contact with various alien beings. The president asked one of these beings about the Earth's fate. And the alien being said, not to worry, the Earth will survive. The Earth will be here, but you may not be. That was the answer. Apparently, there is a network of over 17,000 worlds that extend from this galaxy into the Andromeda galaxy, and was claimed to be controlled by non-physical beings from alternate reality. And that this planet, Earth, fell into their territory, which is why they felt they had every right to do whatever they do here. And also according to them, human beings are an artificial race, which is considered to be dangerous and volatile and explosive. There are beings who wish to annihilate human beings because we are dangerous. We are considered the ISIS of the galaxy. You know, must be eliminated. And so this is something to consider when you think of who is here and who is coming here. In 1997, no, let me backtrack. 1979, the U.S. Air Force issued a booklet to their special forces naming and showing images of 70 different alien species that were visiting the Earth, all considered to be hostile and to fire upon sight. In 1997, that number was raised to 117. But even so, that's a minute compared to the number of possible beings out there. There are also amphibious aliens. There are many unknown species of aliens. And I talked to you about this. Look who's in the top middle, Angela. You know, if you watch go on my website, I sometimes put an image of her next to the face of Adolf Hitler. If you put a little mustache on her, it's the same face. And you know, there are many stories that she is actually the daughter of Hitler, whose sperm and the ovum of Eva Braun was frozen and created by Fourth Reich to create Angela. And you can see here in this panel here, from 1938 to 1939, Deutsche Antarktische Expedition, which was the formation of Neuschwabenland and New Berlin. In my opinion, before the end of this year, a staged alien invasion. This is not a new agenda. This actually was created by the Germans in World War II. Hitler decided that in order to scare all the other countries into acquiescing to his dominion, that he would create a staged alien invasion so that all of the world would think that we are being attacked from outside, and then they would unite because only the Germans would have the weapons to defend against these attackers. And so when Wernher von Braun was brought to the United States under Project Paperclip after World War II, he continued this experiment. And NASA was created as a cover for the real space projects that were being used by United States and Soviet Union. The advanced force. Let me explain. There are, let's look at the numbers. We have approximately over 100 billion stars in this galaxy, and there are approximately over 100 billion galaxies in the universe. So you can do the math, how many stars there are. Then, if even 1/10 of 1% of that stars has intelligent life, that's still so many hundreds of millions of civilizations. It's not, you can't even comprehend. Then times that by infinite universes, both physical and non-physical, and you can imagine that we are not alone. And they can travel the way I described earlier. But the government has classified aliens into 4 basic categories. Insectoid is one of them. The gray aliens are another, second. Humanoid is a third, and the reptoid is the 4th. Now, there are others, yes, but these 4 categories are the ones that are generally accepted by most world governments as what is interacting with the world. But something to know about. In the Kuiper Belt, there is also a hierarchy of control. And the advanced force in the Kuiper Belt is insectoid, because these have hive mind, and these do create action under jurisdiction of the mind control, which is normal to them. And they're also very aggressive, so that they are the most, the best type of alien being to use as an invasion force. And you notice what I'm saying, invasion force. And I mentioned earlier a staged alien invasion, which, in my opinion, will happen this year, because they're already giving you information on CNN and BBC and Fox News. They're telling you, oh, we're going to see alien life in your lifetime, and there are 400 million Earth-like planets in this galaxy, and they're telling you information. They're giving you information to prepare you for the staged alien invasion, which will use Blue Beam Project, which, you know, will create holographic images in the ionosphere so that you will think the Earth is being invaded by UFOs, etc. They will have laser beam weapons from satellites, which will bombard the Earth, and you will think it's from spaceships, but it's coming from your government. Now, Blue Beam is an old technology. It was first tested in 1962 on the coast of Havana Harbor in Cuba, because a U.S. submarine was testing this off the coast of Cuba and projected an image of the Blessed Virgin Mary over Havana Harbor, because this was to disrupt the communist atheistic government and make people believe that it was wrong and they should overthrow the government. So imagine, 1962, U.S. had the capability to create such an image. Now, what is it, 50-some-odd years later, you can just imagine what the technology has advanced into. They can create now holographic images that can be picked up on radar, that create sound, that you can actually feel.